Make
Colin.
Come on, Colin.
Colin in California.
It's all on you.
Hey, Russell. Hey, Tracie. I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yeah, please be reasonable.
Good. So I have I have two questions for you guys. One of which is probably not on your screen, so I'm going to ask the second one, which would be, first off, are you guys meat eaters? Do you guys eat meat?
Yep, and here we go.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to be this type of person. I'm just curious as to why you haven't maybe gone vegan or considered it.
I guess you have? You're asking me why I haven't done something.
Yeah.
That's an odd question.
Well, I mean, earlier in the show you were talking about consent, and I view that animals haven't really.
I do not put all animals in the same category of sentience and having rights as my fellow human beings. Although I understand that reasonable people disagree about this, but from my personal philosophy, I wouldn't eat a person, and I probably wouldn't eat something cute, although that may be my personal prejudice. But I don't have a problem eating cows and chickens.
And I feel like I'm a member of a social species, and like all social species, I draw distinctions between my own species and other species, just like any other animal. I don't view myself as above other animals. I view myself as an animal.
Well, I mean, as above another animal, I mean, I feel like...
No, I don't view myself that way.
I don't know, like that... Oh, I see. Well, I don't know. I just view that these animals haven't really given us consent.
Right, and a rabbit doesn't give consent to be eaten by a coyote, and yet that's social species they treat each other. Coyotes don't treat each other like they do prey animals. That's like a normal social species distinction.
Right. For me, it comes down a lot to level of sentience. I mean, if I were to run into an alien species that had thoughts and philosophies and the ability to communicate with me, I would probably not kill them for meat. Yeah,
the idea would be, though, that you are able to integrate with them in a social way that is constructive, that I can actually interplay with you in a way that creates a society that is beneficial to everybody's survival. When other species are not lending that, they become, to anybody that is concerned about their own survival, somehow less important than their own species, or at least, like I said, it depends on how you prioritize your own survival.
Right. And I hate to say this, but we've had this conversation before, and it tends to be really tangential to atheism. And I think this may be an agree to disagree situation where you might want to consider switching to another point, because we're not going to let this take up the entire rest of the show.
I completely understand.
Although we are going to get a bunch of email about it.
Sure. So agree to disagree. My second question is more just curiosity. I've heard Matt talk about in the past the ability to not really know something with an absolute certainty. Can you guys just go into a little more detail, because I'm a little confused about that?
I think that ties back to something called solipsism. There's an I do. I think that it starts from the point that you know, I think therefore I am, right? So you know that you are because you experience yourself, everything that you experience. But beyond that, there really isn't a way to know with a certainty that what you're experiencing is what you believe you experience.
Yeah, but I think more specifically, I think we always talk a lot about how, even in the best case scenario, all science is tentative, and we have sort of a limited understanding of the world, and we may agree on things with more or less amounts of confidence. But it's always possible that the right evidence could come along and completely change basic things that we think.
The fact that I think, the reason that I would say, like, it's a fact that this table is in front of me, well, that could be not a fact. I mean, it's a fact for all I know, right? For all I know. And that's what we're all kind of saying. When we say that we know something, when we say that something's a fact, what we're saying is, for all I know, this appears to me to be reality. That's what it means to you.
So, like, just to clarify, you're saying that, like, maybe we're just living in a matrix and that table doesn't.
Well, I'm not saying
I don't
that
say I
maybe
believe it, but I'm
just
saying that
out.
If something came along and showed me that I would have to acknowledge it, right? I mean, I'm just saying that I know what I know, but it's contingent on the things that I believe to be true.
Right. I watch The Matrix and I'm like, haha, that's a super cool movie, and I love the kung fu and stuff. Obviously, it has a ton of plot holes, and humans wouldn't work as batteries and so on.
The question to ask yourself. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I don't take The Matrix seriously as philosophy. But if tomorrow Morpheus wakes up and says, "Guess what? You know that movie, The Matrix? That's how it really is," I'm going to have to readjust my thinking. I mean, I don't think we're living in the Matrix, but that conclusion, to some extent, is tentative.
But your brain states are what you're going to experience, right? I mean, it's possible to alter people's memories. It's possible to actually implant memories into people. And if there are people that experience a reality that the rest of us do not, people that experience like psychosis, or people that experience schizophrenic episodes where they're hearing voices or seeing things and have difficulty differentiating between what's real and what we would consider a consensus reality versus what they experience. And so the idea of what's going on, what you experience is all just process in your brain. I mean, that's really what it amounts to. And there's all kinds of, like you were talking about other species. There are other species that actually visually see things in a different way, or species that echolocate, or they're experiencing like very different realities. Now, those things should converge on what would be a consensus reality. They don't violate my reality. The fact that a bat can echolocate doesn't negate what I experience, but it does experience something I don't. But at the same time, a person who's deaf isn't going to experience sound. And this is because of the way your body is interacting and bringing in information to your brain. But the question becomes how, basically you're trusting your brain to be interpreting what's real and giving you feedback that you can rely on. The most you can really say about it is that you do experience, or at least you think you do, I guess, because who knows? There's that question of what if all of your memories were just put into you 5 seconds ago? Mm-hmm. So I can't even say that you experience a consistent reality. It seems that I do, right? I believe that I'm talking to you on the phone right now, but do I know that? All of this could be undermined by just the thought that that anything or everything that I'm experiencing isn't really reality. Now, the problem is you have to work from something, right? You have to go start from somewhere. And so you start from what you do experience, because what choice do you have? I can't start from what I don't experience. I can't start from what I don't know. So you have to start from what you're presented with and what manifests to you. So I completely not defer, but subjugate, I guess, to that. I say I understand that this is a necessary step in proceeding with any sort of reasonable existence, because I have no options here. Does that make any sense?
Hello? No, we lost him.
You're kidding.
Yeah. How do you know we were really talking to him on the phone?
How do you know we lost him? He might still be there.